If you're a family lawyer that's struggling to generate leads from your Google Ads pay-per-click search campaigns, this is definitely the video to watch that's going to break down the high-level strategy that you need to leverage in order to generate good quality leads. If you're new here, my name is Michelle. I'm the founder of Level 28 Media, and I help local service-based businesses and particularly legal practices generate leads from Google Ads. So if you are spending at least $2,000 a month or more and you're looking for an audit or managed services, please check out the link below for a free consultation, and I'd be more than happy to have a discussion with you. Now, let's go ahead and dive into what you need to know about running Google Ads for family lawyers. But before then, I want to set this expectation that not all Google leads are going to close. Not every lead is gold, and your success on pay-per-click is going to be directly tied to how well you guys can close the leads that are coming in. And that has to do with your intake, your follow-up, everything on the back end. Google Ads is just a traffic driver that's going to turn the clicks into leads. But then it's going to be your responsibility or your intake team's responsibility to turn those leads into clients. So let's go ahead and take you through. The first thing I want you to think about before even launching a campaign, this is where a lot of advertisers tend to go wrong, is they're not specific about what they have to offer. Be very specific about what you offer. What are the services that you have to offer? Besides, the fact that you are a family lawyer, you offer many different types of services under your umbrella. And here's what are some examples: dissolution of marriage, child support, child custody, mediation, pre-nuptial agreements, post-nuptial agreements, and just divorce. And once you've identified the services that you have to offer, this will help to determine what keywords you'd like to target and how to structure your landing pages, and actually also how to structure your campaigns on Google search. Once you have that, I want you to also think about the layman type of ways that people would be looking for these types of quote unquote services. So here I have some examples, but the typical person that's looking for a family lawyer is not going to be typing in dissolution of marriage. That's the legal speak, but it's typically just going to be divorce. So think about the way that a layman or typical person would be searching, because that's going to also give you ideas for what type of keywords and how to communicate on your landing pages, because most people don't connect to legal speak, they connect to layman speak. So we need to make sure that people are connecting to that type of language better than more legal language. The next thing I want to touch on is be clear on your target audience. Who are you trying to attract? Are you trying to attract specific people that come from specific income levels? So there's a divorce attorney out in Newport Beach that only works on high net worth individuals. You may be like that as well. And if you are, you need to be very specific about their age groups, income levels, what type of neighborhoods they live in. Are they individuals with kids? Typically, if there's kids, it's a more complicated case that could be a bigger retainer. Because once you have that, then you'll be able to strategically focus your campaign on these people by blocking out specific age groups, bidding higher on age groups, bidding higher on specific income levels, bidding or targeting specific zip codes and neighborhoods or even cities where the household income is enough to afford your services. Once you have that, it's going to be a lot easier to do the rest. I was going to tie into the next thing: location targeting and ad schedule. Most commonly, I do see divorce attorneys focused on zip codes, radius targeting, city, county. State targeting is a little too broad, but I have seen it. If you've got a big budget, then you could try that. But probably the best is going to be zip codes, radius, and city. And then presence only targeting, not presence or interest in. You also could look into using location exclusions to block out lower income areas if you don't want to attract users from these areas. So if you are a high-end divorce attorney in Newport Beach, California, you don't want to be attracting clients that are potentially in downtown LA that don't necessarily have have the income level that you're looking for in order to help them on retainer. And also another question in regards to ad scheduling that I want to touch on is, do you have systems to answer the phone whenever your ads are live? If you don't have a system call answering service or an intake person or team to answer calls after hours, then you might not want to consider running your ads outside of business hours, or else people are just going to be people are just not going to want to engage with you if you're getting back to them too late. If you can't have someone call a lead back within 5 minutes or less, probably you just want to shrink your ad schedule to be very specific to the times that someone can actively follow up in a timely manner. Although people could be searching for a family lawyer at any time of the day, middle of the night, whatever. So that's why some family lawyers don't want to be off during that time, but it is very expensive from the markets that I've run in, and to be spending $50 to $100 a click during the middle of the night when you don't have someone there to take the lead or take information down could potentially be a waste of money. So just something to consider. Keywords. This ties into what services you want to offer. Review the services you have to offer as keyword ideas. Use keywords in relation to layman's vocab. So again, divorce attorney, divorce lawyer instead of attorney for dissolution of marriage. Start using, if this is a new campaign, start with exact match only. And see what type of results you get from that. And then if you do have more budget, you can add in phrase match and broad match. But I do want to emphasize, in the legal industry, broad and phrase match are very dangerous unless you have a strong negative keyword list. This is a brand new, net new campaign and you don't have a negative keyword list in place. Be proactive in putting a negative keyword list in place. And also note that if you're using broad and phrase match, you're going to be attracting a lot of competitors, because Google will match you to competitors and people might be calling looking for a competitor, and you just wasted $50 to $100 a click, potentially, depending on the market you're in. And that ties into the next section here, negative keywords. Put together a strong negative keyword list. Be proactive. Jobs, applications, PDF, YouTube. These are just some examples that I have on my master negative keyword list library, but you can use tools like ChatGPT as a great resource to identify negative keywords. You can also use ChatGPT to help determine some last names, like common legal practice last names that you can add to be proactive in your negative keyword list. You can also use the Keyword Planner, which is a free tool in Google to determine what keywords to negate. So if you type in family law attorney, it will give you keywords that are related, but it will also give you keywords that you might not want to use. That's also very important. Negative keywords are going to save you a lot of money and headache, and also going to prevent you from speaking to people that don't necessarily are looking for a service that you don't have to offer. So let's dive into ads and assets. I have found some examples here. So some divorce attorneys here in Irvine, California. This one is probably the best example here, Hoagland Law. So family law is all we do. Our divorce firm serves the San Marino area, blah, 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 blah. Use up all your real estate assets. This one does a good job in using call extensions. It's got the business logo. It's got the landing page, and everything's title casing. It's got site link extensions. If you offer premier services with a minimum retainer, You might want to mention it to deter clicks from people who can't afford you. But again, putting the pricing for a professional service like this, the pricing is going to vary. And I think it's going to vary depending on how many kids, how complicated, how much assets there are involved and stuff like that. So if your minimum retainer is $5,000 a month, you could say that. So that will deter people that can't even afford you. So you're not wasting money on people that can't afford you. What's your offer? What do you have that's different from other attorneys? Family law is all we do. I like that because there could be other practices that are just general practitioners that do bankruptcy, family law, personal injury, and most people don't necessarily want to be working with a generalist, and most people just want to be working with specialists because they have focused their time and energy on one specific practice area of law. Make your copy not so generic, and also try to make it emotional. I know with this type of space, it can be very dry, but this is a very emotional time for people, to be going through. Potential clients are dealing with a lot of heavy emotions. There's probably some kids involved, lots of potential assets involved. So it's important to appeal to those emotions, not just in your ads, but also on your landing page as well, which I'm going to be touching on next. Landing pages. Test landing page versus website to see what works better. Typically, I see landing pages work best when designed correctly, of course. I do have a landing page masterclass I'll link in the description below for you to check out for how you might want to consider designing your landing page. Make the copy on your landing pages emotional. I'd already mentioned that above. Use real pictures of you and your team. Try to avoid stock images as much as possible. But if you have to, you have to. But using live pictures of your team is going to help with building the trust. People connect to people, not necessarily just random, stock images that don't have any way for you to connect to. And take it a step further with video so people know who you are and what you have to offer so they can connect with you on another level. CTA, call to action. What do you want them to do? Do you offer free consultations? What's the next step you want them to take? Just call you, contact you, put testimonials. That's a trust factor. And also put a form and phone number on your landing page, please. I'm not going to go into all the nitty-gritty details, but check out the link in the description for my landing page masterclass. And the last thing I want to touch on here is test local service ads. Local service ads is Google Guarantee. It's separate from Google Search, but I would say that it's not a complete substitution for Google Search. It's more of an addition to supplement what you're doing. LSAs in conjunction with PPC can yield good results. You pay per lead, not per click. So if you are more on a limited budget and you only want to pay per lead, LSAs might be a place to try, but it's can be very limited in what it generates you, and there's not really a whole lot of strategy that goes into it. You can't be as strategic with the targeting and the audiences as you can with Google Search. Generally, I don't see very high volume coming from these leads, this platform, but it can be worth testing in your area. So I have an example here of what it looks like. There's no ads. It's just a picture of the lead attorney and the name with the call to action to just call directly. So if you have any questions on this, drop them in the comments below or contact me on my website. I'd be more than happy to have a discussion with you. If you have found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up, as well as subscribe to this channel. And I will see you guys in the next video.